So, alright, Mike coming at you from Houston, Texas on behalf of AT Astro, Error, Truth, Aspect, and Predictive, or Relationship Astrology. And today I am coming at you with another Synastry topic. We are doing Moon Mars aspects in a Synastry chart, and what happens between two people when we see these pesky but spicy little aspects popping up. So a Synastry chart, for those who don't know, is when you take two people's natal charts and you put them on top of each other, like that. And you look at the interactions between the different planets and the house overlays and between two people's horoscopes, and then you get a good feel of how they interact with each other. It just shows the day-to-day relating. It also is the primary indicator of sexual attraction. And Moon-Mars aspects, particularly the hard ones, are actually very good indicators of sexual attraction. So we have the Moon, which is somebody's emotional nature, their sensitive nature. It represents the eternal feminine, the mother quality. And then Mars represents the masculine side of somebody's personality. It represents the last vestiges of animal instinct left in man. It's the part of us that goes out and gets what we want, fucks what we want, fights for what we want. And when you see these two different parts of somebody's personality coming together in an aspect of conflict, I mean, the trines and the sextiles work well, but you'll see a lot more fireworks with the hard aspects. And I'm talking about the conjunction, the square, and the opposition. The sesquiquadrate too. You see a lot of sexual attention, like a sexual attraction. You see the Mars person kind of goes after the Moon person and then picks at them. It's like, because Mars represents, honestly, like, to be completely honest, it's the penis, it's the dick. And the Moon, in addition to all the other things that it relates to, it is the womb, the vagina. And so at a subconscious level, the Mars person's trying to, like, impregnate the Moon person. If that, I mean, you can even see it with, like if the woman was the Mars and the man was the Moon, the woman person will try to, like, sort of dominate and conquer the Moon person. It's very interesting. But the way that these two planets operate when they are in an aspect of conflict, the Moon person is usually very sensitized to the actions of the Mars person. The Mars person very easily pisses off the Moon person. It can kind of set them on their toes, make them uncomfortable emotionally very quickly. Very quickly. And so a lot of fighting can happen. But the thing about these aspects, and even in the composite chart too, is it creates enough interest between the two people to where, like, even if they're fucking bickering and fighting all the time, they won't really, they can't let each other go. I mean, the fighting can get to a point to where it gets really destructive, but for the most part, the Mars person wants to go out and hunt and kill and take and get for its own, and the Moon person is just easy prey. The Mars person usually seems very aggressive to the Moon person, and it hits the Moon person a little bit harder than if it were like a Mars square Venus. You can see the same sort of interplay with the Mars square Venus, but the Venus person kind of sort of likes it a little bit. The Moon person and the Mars Moon aspects is a little bit more put off by it. Like I've noticed it myself. Like people who have Mars in Scorpio, in the early degrees of Scorpio, it'll square my Moon. And there's an attraction. It's like a very morbid attraction, but the Mars person seems kind of nasty to me, like a little bit too forward, a little bit too much, too like, no, what do you want to do to me? No. So I mean, it's just it's a very strange interplay. Usually, couples, heterosexual couples that have Moon Mars aspects tend to have a lot of babies. It's a very sexually active aspect because passion, anger, and sexuality, they're both animal instincts. They tend to go hand in hand. So they fight hard, and I mean, pardon my French, but they kind of fuck hard too. So I just thought that was a really interesting placement. Usually whenever I see this in a Synastry reading between a couple or in the composite chart, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit of a combative relationship. But there isn't as much like manipulation associated with it, unless you've got Pluto involved somewhere else. It's pretty straightforward. The Mars person acts straightforward in a way that pisses off the Moon person. There's not a lot of those subtle mind games. The Mars person will say something that will just piss off the Moon person. He wasn't trying to piss off the Moon person. He just did. Also, I've noticed friendships that aren't sexual. The Moon person, when somebody has their Mars, especially conjunct, I've seen the most. The Moon person tends to not like the Mars person all that much. they come off as super, super abrasive. They get the moon person in their feelings really quickly. Like, I don't know what it is about that person, but just the way they do things just kind of annoys me and pisses me off. It's just because the way that Mars is hitting their moon in the Synastry, it's making them a little bit more sensitized than normal. So, I hope that was helpful. I always offer consultations. I specialize in predictive and relationship astrology. I do appreciate any type of donations to help keep me allowing me to provide wonderful content for y'all guys. I will have links down at the bottom. And until next time, guys.